Hello, and welcome to Chabot News for September 26, 2018. My name is Dee Collins, and in today's news, we will cover Trump and Starbucks. In entertainment news, Jonathan Micciano will show us the new face of the Joker. Top 5, Will Pitcher will bring us the top 5 moisturizers to keep your skin healthy. And in our sports section, Sanyel Glover will give you an update on the A's this season. All that and more coming up on Chabot News. President Donald Trump touts how his administration has accomplished more than any past administration in its first 2 years, is one of the more consistent applause lines in his campaign patter until Tuesday, September 25th. Let's take a look.
Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, world leaders, ambassadors, and distinguished delegates, 1 year ago I stood before you for the first time in this grand hall. I addressed the threats facing our world, and I presented a vision to achieve a brighter future for all of humanity. Today I stand before the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made. In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
The gathered world leaders, or at least some of them, laughed at Trump's contention that he had done more in 2 years than any previous American administration, which makes some sense given that the claim seems on its face a little bit preposterous. There was Abraham Lincoln's management of the Civil War, Ulysses Grant's stewardship of the country through the Reconstruction, Woodrow Wilson's work to repair the world community following World War I, Truman's work to do the same after post-World War II, Ronald Reagan's steering of the country through the Cold War, and the list goes on. And it dwarfs Trump's accomplishments. A registered sex offender was arrested late last month in Hayward on suspicion of multiple offenses, including allegedly videotaping people in a public restroom. Union City Police said today that David Lista, 35, was arrested on August 30th at his home after detectives identified him as someone who may have placed a camera in the bathroom at the Starbucks coffee shop at 32240 Dyer Street in Union City. Officers went to the Starbucks to investigate the alleged discovery of the camera. Following Lista's arrest, investigators searched his home after getting a search warrant and allegedly found evidence that he illegally videotaped people in restrooms and possessed child pornography, methamphetamine, and drug paraphernalia. Police said Lista is a plumber and may have illegally videotaped unsuspecting victims who he worked for. Anyone who hired Lista or anyone who has questions about the case can get in touch with Detective Angela Fonseca at 510-675-5283 or A. Fonseca at unioncity.org or Detective Stephen Fong at 510-675-5259 or S. Fong at unioncity.org. And now, Sanyel Glover will bring us the latest on sports.
The Oakland A's are back in the playoffs after 4 years. They will look to make a deeper run this time around since the 2014 they were eliminated by the Kansas City Royals in the wild card game. It is important to note that the A's will be without their star pitcher, left-handed Sean Manaea, who suffered a shoulder injury earlier this season. With the pitcher being the most important position in baseball, especially if it's a guy like Manaea, can the A's get it done? They still have a lot of power at the bat and have shown it off this season. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Buffalo Bills cornerback Vontae Davis decided to make his retirement interesting. During week 2 of the NFL regular season, while the Bills were playing the Chargers, Davis announced his retirement from the NFL at halftime. This was while his team was losing 28-6. Many saw it as Davis was abandoning his teammates, and some of his teammates were not happy about it. But can you blame them? Davis, on the other hand, says, quote, "Leaving was therapeutic. This is the first time anything like this has happened in the NFL. Many will continue to follow this story to see if Davis took a precipitated decision or if he is actually done with playing his career." During his career, Davis was a 2-time Pro Bowler and was considered one of the top 100 players in the NFL in 2015.
2-time Pro Bowler. A 2-year-old boy died early Sunday morning in a solo vehicle crash on Interstate Highway 80 near State Highway 37 in Vallejo. The California Highway Patrol said Jerome Jacinto, 33, of Richmond, driving a 1999 Pontiac Firebird on westbound Highway 80 around 12:01 a.m. when the car left the road and started overturning. CHP officer David Harvey said Jacinto's son, also named Jerome Jacinto, was allegedly not properly restrained in the back seat. He was ejected from the Pontiac and died at the scene, Harvey said. The 33-year-old was arrested on suspicion of DUI involving drugs, gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated, child cruelty resulting in death, providing false identification to a police officer, possession of a controlled substance, and driving without a license. UC Insight Workshop. Get ready, students who are looking to transfer or working out the plans for transferring. Come up within the next week and the week after that. Our great workshops for questions and answers for those who are seeking to look for higher education. The first week of CSU is the application information sessions, where it is an overview of the transfer application requirements, process, and referral application labs, and meeting with university representatives. After that is the UC Personnel Insight Questions Workshop. This is a workshop for those who are looking to help in obtaining tips into the UC Personal Insight questions, which are taught by your own Chabot English instructors, so be sure to attend CSU application days on Thursday, October the 4th, and UC Personal Insight on Tuesday, October the 9th.
Chabot College is about that time of the year. Seasons are dropping and temperatures are following. But just because it's getting cold doesn't mean our skin has to suffer. Here are a few top 5 moisturizers for these fall-winter temps. Number 5 is coconut oil. This lightweight oil is perfect for the climate transition. Found in your local oil aisle, this oil is ranked best in its 100% organic, cold-pressed state, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the pleasant tropical coconut fragrance. Number 4 is olive oil. No, it's not only for sauteing your vegetables and searing chicken, but it's also an awesome moisturizer for skin. Not too heavy for the skin, but thick enough to get the job done and keep you glistening. Number 3 is good old-fashioned Vaseline. Nothing more nostalgic than going to school and your mother greasing your face. Now you have the option to take your choice of fragrance from cocoa butter to aloe. But be careful, it's thick so a little goes a long way. Number 2 is my favorite, cocoa butter. Whether it's from Palmer's brand or New Organic, the smell alone is chocolate heaven. It's a harder butter, but definitely has you covered for a few hours. Mix it with coconut oil for a healthy glow. Number 1, the ultimate holy grail, shea butter. Mix it with any oil to create a fluffy whipped butter for a light consistency. Derived from the shea nut of Africa, The heavy butter will have you slick. Now back to D.
Divorce rates. Millennials finally got something right. The divorce rate in the United States is falling, and demographers are crediting millennials and Gen Xers with the decline. According to an analysis by Philip Cohen, a sociology professor at the University of Maryland, the divorce rate in America dropped by 18% between 2008 and 2016. That's in part because Americans are getting married at older ages, and people married at older ages are less likely to get divorced. Millennials ages 22 to 37 and Gen Xers ages 38 to 53 are choosing to settle down later in life once their careers and finances are more established and stable. On the other hand, baby boomers ages 54 to 72 were more likely to marry young, divorce, and remarry. Now here's Jonathan Mikianos with our entertainment section.
Bill Cosby could be behind bars this week, as the judge overseeing the sexual assault allegations is soon to give his sentence soon. The TV star, known as America's Dad, is facing 3 charges of sexual assault against Andrea Constand, who claimed last April that Cosby drugged and violated her in Philadelphia in 2004. The 3 combined charges against Cosby carry up to 30 years behind bars, and Cosby's lawyers are fighting the charges, stating that the 81-year-old actor is too frail for jail. However, because of the context of recent allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and the hashtag #MeToo movement, Montgomery's district attorney has stated, quote, "What they're asking for is a get-out-of-jail-free card. The bottom line is that nobody is above the law. Nobody." The sentencing for Cosby will take place on Tuesday. For all the movie buffs and comic book fans out there, rejoice. There's a new Joker in town. Director Todd Phillips teased a video last Friday showing a camera test of actor Joaquin Phoenix taking up the mantle of the crazed clown villain. And on Sunday, on-set videos and photos were released of Phoenix wearing the iconic face paint and costume of the Joker. While the movie in question is still untitled, Warner Brothers have stated that this origin film and this newest version of the Joker will have no relation to the other DC movies that will star Jared Leto as the same character. Phillips stated that the film is meant to be a, quote, exploration of a man disregarded by society that's not only a gritty character study, but also a broader cautionary tale. The film is slated to be released in October 2019.
A recent story posted by the BBC News highlights the life of a Vietnamese man who was adopted by a couple in Berkeley during the Vietnam War and eventually reconnected with his family. Thuy Nguyen was given up for adoption by his parents when he was only 7 days old, and as they fled South Vietnam, and was eventually adopted by the Buckner family. Thuy grew up here in the Bay Area and in Hawaii during his teen years, and eventually made his way back to Vietnam to visit the orphanage he lived in, where by pure luck he ran into his biological mother. This led him on an adventure to discover and eventually bring together his Vietnamese family, his father's Filipino family, and his adoptive American parents. Thuy now lives in Vietnam with his mother and siblings, where he lives as a jewelry maker and a minor celebrity. And that's all for Chabot News this week. Thanks to the students and staff at the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/ChabotTV.